What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Um, say rainy, thundering day on March 26th. So I'm gonna go over the NBA scores, and then I'm also gonna get into which teams I think are set up for the next 3 or 4 years to compete the best. My dog just ran in here. She's scared of the thunder and whatnot. So you might see her jumping on my lap here real soon. There was 6 games last night. First game is the Hawks played the Pacers. They beat them 143-130. We got 19 from Tyrese Halliburton with 13 assists. 12 from Andrew Nembhard. Nobody really did much. Buddy Hield, 16 off the bench. Nobody in the Pacers really did much at all. You got 21 from John Collins in the Hawks, 20 from DeJounte Murray, 17 from Clint Capella. DeJounte Murray also gave you 12 assists, and Trae Young only gave you 14 points. You got 18 from Sadiq Bey, which I think that was a good pickup for the Hawks, even though they're still a disappointing team this year. I like the fact they picked up Sadiq Bey, but they probably won't make the list of teams set up good for the next 3 years. Nets beat the Miami Heat 129-100, spanked them. Cam Johnson, Carolina Tar Heel, gave you 23. 27 from Mikal Bridges, and Dorian Finney-Smith 12, Claxton 14. So they had a nice little balance. And who is this? Edmund Summer off the bench gave you 12. Miami Heat 18 from Butler, 23 from Tyler Hero, 16 from Bam Adebayo, and Max Strauss gave you 23. But it just wasn't enough. And Mikal Bridges, man, I got to keep saying it, man. Him going to Brooklyn is going to be the best thing to happen to his career. He's averaging 19, 4, and 3 right now. He's going to be definitely getting to that 20-point mark very, very soon. Like I say, he might get it to before the end of the season. He's only a 0.6 away. Denver beat the Bucks. See, these are the games that really you like to see. Like, these are two to three cats in MVP race. These are the games that kind of can sway one MVP vote one way or MVP vote another way. I mean, because 129 and 106 is pretty much a spanking. Chris Middleton only gave you 13, 31 from Giannis, but he was a negative 15. Brooke Lopez gave you 13, 13 from Grayson Allen. Everybody was a negative. Drew Holiday was a negative 15, negative 19. Joe Ingles. Everybody on the Bucks was a negative. You get over the Denver Nuggets side. You got 19 from Porter Jr., 31, 11, and 6 from Jokic, and 26 from Murray, 11 from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 11 from Bruce Browns. Everybody's a plus, though. Plus 21, plus 17, plus 19, plus 15, 14. Yeah, man. And did the Bucks have their whole lineup? I mean, the Bucks got their whole lineup. They got Bobby Porter, Joe Ingles. I don't know, man. Denver Nuggets look like a team that might could come out the West. Next up, here's another one. Suns spanked the Sixers, man. 125-105. This I know Jokic, like they lost some games, but when Embiid and Giannis both get beat on the same night and get spanked, like it can help his argument. It can help his argument because it's game to game, it's week to week when you go for this MVP thing. You got 13 from Tobias Harris, 28 from Joel Embiid, 37 from Maxey. Seems like they really need James Harden. Nobody else really did nothing. When you go to the Suns, you got 13 from Chris Paul, 29 from Booker, 17 from Bismack Biyombo, 16 from TJ Warren, 15 from Terrence Ross, who I forgot they had. Come playoff time, they get Kevin Durant back. They have Kevin Durant, Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton gets healthy. You got Bismack Biyombo coming off the bench with TJ Warren and Terrence Ross and Cameron Payne. That could be a dangerous team if Durant gets back. Jazz played the Kings. Kings beat the Jazz, which they should have. Jazz at 17 from Kelly Olynyk. Walker Kessler gave you 31. 20 from Ochai Ajabi. And 13 from Chris Dunn, who I still keep forgetting is in the league still. Harrison Barnes gave you 18. Tar Heel, Keegan Murray gave you 22, who I keep saying that the Rockets should have drafted. Domantas Sabonis gave you 16 with 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 27 from Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter came back last 2 games, been balling out. That's the thing. Kings without Kevin Huerter ain't the same team. They didn't even have De'Aaron Fox. Davion Mitchell started, 11.6 assists, who's a defensive guy. They also got Matthew Dellavedova, Kessler Edwards, Malik Monk. They got a nice little squad. I might be underselling the Kings playoff time. I might be underselling them. Kevin Huerter gets hot, couple games. You never know. Pelicans demolished Clippers from deep, 131 and 110. Like I said, man, Pelicans, man, I'm high on them if they get Zion back. Brandon Ingram, 32. Trey Murphy, the third or the second. Or is that the third? Let me see. Third. Excuse me, vision a little blurry. 17 for Jonas Valanciunas with 13 rebounds and 4 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 21 from CJ McCollum. They don't even got my man Zion Williamson, probably one of the very few Duke players that I like. And Josh Richardson gave you 13 off the bench. Clippers just wasn't enough, man. Nobody put up nothing worthy. Bones Highland, I love that name. Gave you 18 leader score off the bench, 12 from Kawhi, Zubac, 13, Gordon, 15, Russell Westbrook, 14. It's not enough, man. It's not enough. Let's go to the standings. See how the standings have changed. Pelicans at the 9th, still Lakers at the 8th. Nothing's really changed. We'll go over the teams I think that's gonna be set up the best over the next 3 years. I definitely got to say Phoenix. Kevin Durant and Booker. I mean, even if you get rid of Chris Paul, I mean, Kevin Durant and Booker. I mean, they could trade 8 for something. I mean, I think they're gonna be good to go the next 2 or 3 years, as long as they stay healthy. I like Denver's chances. Most of their players are really young still. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic. I still ain't sold on the Kings. I don't know that they'll be a 2 or 3 seed in the West next year. It could just be one good year for them. And then, some of these people probably going to be due for contracts. I don't know what the contract situation is like over there. I like Memphis's chances. They're very, very young. Very, very young. I definitely like the Pelicans' chances if Zion Williamson can get healthy. I'm not sold on OKC just yet. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander putting up some numbers. He can score. but we still got to see what Chet Holmgren is going to be when he comes back. See what pick they're going to be. Then they got to start winning. They got to get, like, they can't just be in the play-in tournament. They got to get, in one of these top 6 slots. You go to the East, I'm going with Boston. If they keep Jaylen Brown, as long as they don't lose Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, I like Boston's chances. Cleveland, they're still young. Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. We don't know what Evan Mobley's peak could be. We don't know if Darius Garland hit his peak because he really started balling out last year, and he's took a backseat this year. And then he still won a whole year with Donovan Mitchell. See what that is, and Jared Allen's still young as well. Milwaukee, Giannis. I mean, as long as they got Giannis, oh man. And probably Philly. As long as Embiid stays healthy, we don't know what's going to happen with James Harden, but he don't leave. They can try to sign a decent player. Tyrese Maxey's starting to get better. He just needs to be more consistent night in, night out. A lot of these other teams, I'm not sold on them. I know somebody was saying Orlando. They're still young, man. And I haven't seen Orlando be nothing since Dwight Howard. Like, that's the thing. They drafted Shaq, who was a generational talent when they drafted him. Dwight Howard was a generational talent when they drafted him. I don't know if Paolo Banchero is a generational talent. I don't know that. Miami, they're getting old. Jimmy Butler's getting old. I don't think Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo going to take you in the promised land. Brooklyn Nets, they got a lot of young pieces. They're 6th seed right now. They're not even going to get a high draft pick. They'll almost be kind of like the New York Knicks coming in the next year. Atlanta, I don't know, man. They're disappointing. They're so disappointing. No way, no how should New York Knicks be a higher seed than Atlanta. And even Brooklyn, man, who's been dysfunctional all year long. Atlanta's so disappointing. Toronto, Chicago, Washington, Indiana. Indiana just needs to get healthy. And I think the fact that Tyrese Halliburton missed a lot of games and they dropped down, they'll get a higher pick. They get a good high draft pick. Tyrese Halliburton healthy. Benedict Mathurin. They still got Buddy Hield. Yeah. Let's see. Houston, I mean, I don't know. Unless they get Victor Wembanyama, I'm not sold. Spurs, unless they get Victor Wembanyama, I'm not sold. Portland Trailblazers, same thing. Unless they get Victor Wembanyama, I'm not sold. Utah, I'm not sold. Dallas, I'm not sold. I don't even think they'll be able to keep Kyrie Irving. He's probably going to run to Los Angeles. And if he runs to Los Angeles, that's really going to, not validate him leaving Cleveland. It's like, okay, you left Cleveland because you wanted to do your own thing, have your own team, only to have to run back and play with LeBron again. Minnesota, I don't know. So I think they need to move on from Towns. That way you can give this team to Anthony Edwards. He's a dog. Give this team to him. Let him have the baton. Let him run with it. Get what you can from Karl Anthony Towns as much as you can. Warriors, I mean, they still got the championship pedigree, but they're gonna have to make some moves over the next 2 or 3 years. If they lose, I think once they lose Draymond Green, that could be it for them. That could literally be it. And my dog just came here, sitting right underneath me. Rain's starting to pick up and whatnot. Yep. And let's see any other teams. So yeah, I got Denver, Memphis, Suns, um, Warriors. They'll be competing in the next couple of years, the next 2 or 3 years. Pelicans of Zion's healthy, and that's it. And then in the East, I mean, Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Cavs. I'm not sold on none of the rest of these teams. My Charlotte Hornets, I don't even know what the hell they're doing. Pistons, no way, no how. Um, like the Mavericks are not even in the playing tournament right now. I know for Luka, Luka's not gonna. He's not gonna want to stay a whole nother contract extension if Dallas doesn't get things in order. They better put somebody around Luka. They definitely better put somebody around Luka. Yep. Well, that's it. Once again, I'll thank you for tuning in, Paul Pickett Podcast, and I'm out.